Hey, Casas Adobes, Pastor John here, and today we are talking about new things, risky things. And, sometimes when we're careful, we try to overregulate things because we want things to just stay the same. But God makes things new. So we got two stories. We got one today from Isaiah, and the reading from Isaiah is from Isaiah 43, chapter 43. And it says, you know what? Do not remember the former things or consider old things. I'm about to do something new, and it springs forth. Can you see it? So, and then he starts talking about water in the desert, kind of like what happens with the monsoon, and where all the desert is dry and it looks like everything's shriveled up and dying. And then the rains come and the desert is transformed. And so we have flowers, and suddenly everything starts turning green, and the cactuses get all fat, and they start putting out flowers and fruit, and the animals start coming, and they're actually little pools of water. It's transformed. And so that's what God is talking about, doing something new that transforms. And so in the gospel, we have a story about Jesus going to see his friends in Bethany, and his friends are called Lazarus and Martha and Mary. And while they're there, Mary is doing her usual setting up the house and cooking and making sure everybody is comfortable. She's serving. Martha and Mary does something amazing. She takes this really, really expensive ointment and she rubs it on Jesus's feet, and then she dries his feet with her hair. And this is really something that's like nobody's ever really done that. And so everybody's shocked. And so I have some ointment, some oil here that I use when I anoint people, and it's very, very expensive. This has some of the stuff that we remember at Christmas time. It's called frankincense and myrrh, and then it has some oil. And so this little tiny bottle is really, really expensive. It costs a lot of money, and I keep it. I keep some of it in this little container because it is so expensive. And I take this whenever I'm just putting a little bit of oil on people to pray for them, and it smells really good too. And so this is like what Mary is doing, and Judas, who is with them. And Judas is part of those disciples, those friends of Jesus, and he gets angry at her, and he's like, why are you doing that, Mary? You could have taken this and you could have sold it and given the money to the poor. Now, it's very good to give money to the poor and think of others, but Judas wasn't thinking about that. He was being safe. Remember we talked about those two brothers last time. One was kind of careless and one was extremely careful. And so that's what Judas is doing. Judas is trying to be really, really careful, and he doesn't want to. He's thinking in the old way. He's thinking the old way. And, Jesus said, you know what? It's not about your rules, okay? If you want to give money to the poor, you can give money to the poor. But Mary's trying something new. Mary is trying to live God's way. She's trying to live abundantly, and she is comforting me, and she's moving in compassion, and she's moving the way God is moving her. And so don't sit there criticizing her. You want to raise money for the poor, go do it. Don't just sit back and criticize. So, this is going to be our story, and Miss Jean Marie is teaching Fun Day School on Sunday, so I am very excited about that. So, in the meantime, you are to be safe, of course, be well, and be a blessing, because that's what this story represents, is Mary just pouring out her blessings on Jesus, and Jesus doing things that help her transform and grow. Judas sort of stays in the same old place because he's not willing to change. All right. So I will see you in Fun Day School. Peace.